fork in the road, and you were just smiling, you're beaming. It must have something to do with being able to go all the different farmers markets.
Well, it has so much to do with all the farmers markets. Okay, Lou, I went on Saturday, you guys know that.
Yes.
And the produce that I have today isn't from farmers market because I ate everything.
No, you did not.
Which you kind of recommend is like get things that you're going to basically consume over the week. That's why you get it. You don't want it to sit on the counters or in your fridge. But let's just say we're not all as diligent as you are. And we have enjoyed, whether we're going to Valley Junction or Bondurant or downtown, and we see some beautiful things like you brought into our kitchen this morning, but we haven't used them up. How can we make sure they're staying as beautiful as these items you brought in today?
Well, it really depends on what it is we're talking about.
Okay.
Because if we treated them all the same, we'd have a catastrophe.
Different results, yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly. So let's just look at some of the different options that we have, and you can ask me questions about specific ones, and I can tell you how you treat them, or I can just jump right in. What would you like to do?
Well, we can just start on one side and go all
Yeah,
work our
all
way
right,
across,
that works.
because this is what people are really looking forward to. Beginning of the season when farmers markets open.
Yep.
Fresh asparagus.
Yes.
And for those that have established asparagus patches, they are coming up, and they're coming up big time.
Yeah, they are. And so let's eat them with abundance and recklessness.
Right.
So what I like to do is I bring them home and I'll put them into a container. I like to use plastic in the refrigerator because if it's in a glass container, because it's got water in the bottom, if you tip it over, there's a chance that the water's going to go everywhere, the glass is going to break and whatnot.
Sure.
So
Didn't think about that.
yeah, so I'm really cautious. Most of the time, you're going to hear me advocate for glass and not use plastic, but in that particular case, it's just dangerous. And here's how I know. I've done it.
Because it's happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's happened, exactly.
But these tall containers like this, if you don't have these tall containers like this, what we end up using is we use some like old food containers instead of throwing them away or recycling them. Hang on to them, wash them out, and then use them like for if you use mayo or anything like that, or salsa in a big canister like this.
Yes.
They work perfectly.
Perfectly. So when you get your asparagus home, cut off an inch from the bottom, just like when you get fresh flowers. Same concept. Place them in the water. Then what I do is oftentimes I'll put a plastic over the top. Depends on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I might
like a
do
shower
this.
curtain
Oh, I
or
didn't
a
think
shower
about
cap.
that.
Shower caps work as well.
Oh, okay.
And you put the plastic over the top, and that helps keep it fresh.
The
Keeps
moisture
the
in.
tips. Yes.
Okay.
And then.
And the same thing goes for cilantro too?
Yep, if you turn that around, Lou, we can see that I've also done that. And these two can cohabitate. If you've got room in the same container.
Stick them in the same container?
Why not? Let's have at it. So, and you've got this little nice bouquet.
Does that go for all like herbs like that? So we're talking cilantro, maybe parsley.
Yeah, mix it up. Now, that's not the case with some fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
We know that we don't mix oftentimes fruits and vegetables together. You've heard that bananas will oftentimes off gas and whatnot make things ripen more quickly.
Right.
We're going to need to be careful with that. So let's talk about root vegetables, and we can group those into categories. So root vegetables would be carrots and beets. They grow with, if you buy them fresh at farmers market, right, they've got their leaves and greens. What you want to do when you get these home is cut about an inch above the root.
Okay. See, I was mistaken. I was going to cut the actual carrot itself, but cut above it.
Cut a root.
Okay.
Yep, because you don't want to puncture the flesh. It lets air in. It will decompose faster.
Right.
So just leave an inch.
Got it.
Store
I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're reviewing this.
Oh, good. So store these separately. If you're going to use the tops, beet greens just cook them up just like spinach. They're really tasty and really wonderful. And then the beets and the carrots keep themselves for months. Just keep them in
and the same thing. Just cut it above the root vegetable
Cut above the
itself.
root. Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
got it. Okay, I'm glad
Do
you
we
said
throw
that.
them in the fridge, or what do we do with
In
them?
the fridge, I put them in the crisper drawer. Again, with the two items separated.
In a bag or just open?
I put them in a bag.
Okay.
I like to keep them the air off. Collard greens is another one. I like to cut the stems off because the stems make them big. They take up too much space in the refrigerator. Then I just roll them up, and those plastic tie bands that you get at the store, I just keep it like this, and now all of a sudden you've got a lot less space being occupied in your refrigerator, so it's a lot
Keeps
more
it organized
efficient.
too, yeah.
Exactly. Fruits, I keep my melons on the counter until I feel like they start to smell fragrant. If I'm not, that would be a good time to eat them. If I'm not going to eat them, then what I do is put them right in the fridge. I put those also in the crisper drawer, remember, away from the vegetables because we don't want to keep them separated.
Okay.
Cucumbers. They're very rich in water. That means they're going to freeze really quick.
Right.
Don't let them get too cold. If you've got a side-by-side, keep them away from the freezer side and off of the glass shelf.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Mushrooms, we need to be concerned about moisture with those. I store them in a paper bag within the refrigerator.
Got it.
Keeps them fresh. Potatoes on the counter, not in the fridge.
Not in the fridge.
Tomatoes, same thing.
Oh, they're supposed to be on the counter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I keep tomatoes. We have an issue about you and I will come to
I
fisticuffs.
say fridge. You say counter. Okay.
Right, but I say potato.
Okay.
What if you have cut them and you're saving half of it? Can you put
Of course. Then you would refrigerate.
Okay.
Not but eat it. Don't cut it and save it.
Just
eat it.
eat it. Eat the darn
It's fruits
thing.
and vegetables. Let's do that. So, we've also got garlic and ginger. Garlic, I see a lot of people putting in the refrigerator. I think that's a mistake. I think that
really, that's what I do too. But I'm finding out that if you put it in the refrigerator, it dries out the garlic.
It does.
Yeah.
So exactly. So I leave that on the counter, but I do refrigerate ginger. So the two of them people use interchange, or they'll talk about them interchangeably, but they treat differently when we store them.
Right. Okay. And remember, there's a nice little trick for garlic to peel it. You put it in a container with a lid on it and shake it back and forth, and
it takes all the peels off. Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fresh garlic is great.
So let's say we are very diligent. We follow all of your advice, but we just see some of our amazing produce, and it just is starting to not look the greatest. What is your recommendation? Is there any bounce back that we can get off of these guys?
Yes, the first thing that you want to do is eat it. Okay, so if it's starting to go, cut off the bad spots, boil, broil, grill, whatever it is you're going to do, use it first. The second thing that you could do would be to freeze. So that would mean cut off the bad spots, cut it up into pieces, freeze it, and use it for later. And then the third thing would be compost. Don't let this go in the garbage. And then the next time, don't buy less. Buy and make a bigger commitment that you're going to not let it go bad.
Okay, I just really quickly want your opinion on berries before we go. Because I feel like as diligent as I am about buying and also eating berries, there's always seems to be some containers that go bad. How do you feel if you start seeing some like strawberries or raspberries go bad? Do you need to toss the entire container, or can you just toss the ones that you see go bad?
Always take the bad apple or strawberry or whatever out of the bunch. I've got a hack for you.
Bring some berries over here real quick. Okay, the band brought some berries. Real fast here. Come here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they did. Here they go. Here's some fresh berries for you. Here you go.
Oh, I love that. Yes,
but it's one of those things, like I've heard two philosophies on this, that if you start seeing some because they're touching and things like that, you have to toss the whole
No,
container.
I don't touch. I take out the bad ones and wash the others. Okay. I'll give you a quick berry hack.
Yeah.
1 part vinegar, white vinegar, 4 parts water. Rinse them before you put them in the fridge. Dry them off good. It'll help them stay longer.
Perfect.
So put a little vinegar in there.
Yes.
That's what I'm missing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
It.
Amazing hacks this morning to help you with some fabulous produce that you're able to get now, courtesy of all of our amazing farmers markets. So if people have questions for you, maybe they have some tips and tricks they want to share with you, or you can share with them, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, why don't you visit fork-road.com or email me at info@fork-road.com. Happy to answer your questions.
That works. Thank
Love
you,
it.
Sheree.
Yeah, you
Perfect.
bet.
All right.